The morning light crept through the blinds, casting soft golden hues across the cluttered room. Ethan groaned as his alarm blared for the third time. He smacked the snooze button, dragging the blanket over his head. New year, same story, he thought. January 1st, a fresh start. At least, that's what everyone said. But for Ethan, it felt like another empty promise. He'd made resolutions every year. Work out more, eat healthier, start a side hustle, but they all fizzled out before February. Why would this year be any different? Still, a tiny voice inside urged him to try one more time. He swung his legs over the bed and stretched, his joints popping in protest. After a quick shower and a half-hearted attempt at breakfast, he laced up his worn-out sneakers and headed out for a run. The crisp morning air stung his lungs as he jogged. Shuffled through the park. His legs burned after only a few minutes, and he slowed to a walk, cursing under his breath. He sat on a bench, head hanging low, frustration bubbling up. Rough morning. Ethan glanced up to see an older man sitting on the next bench, a small block of wood in his hands. The man's gnarled fingers moved with precision, carving smooth lines into the wood. His face, weathered by time, radiated calm. Yeah, Ethan muttered, trying to stick to a resolution. Not going well. The man chuckled, his eyes twinkling. Resolutions are tricky things. Most people bite off more than they can chew. Big plans, no follow-through. Ethan nodded. That's me. Every year, I make these grand goals, and every year, I quit. The man set down his carving and turned to Ethan. What if I told you success isn't about grand gestures? It's about showing up day after day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Ethan frowned. That's easy to say. But how do you stay motivated? Motivation is fleeting, the man said. Discipline is what keeps you going. And discipline comes from small, consistent actions. Not huge leaps. Ethan sighed. Small actions, huh? Like what? Start with one thing, the man said. Something so small it feels silly. But do it every day. No excuses. That night, Ethan lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. One thing. The man's words echoed in his mind. It felt too simple. But what did he have to lose? He decided to start with a 5-minute stretch every morning. Nothing fancy. Just a way to ease into the day. The next morning, he groaned as his alarm went off but forced himself out of bed. He rolled out a yoga mat and stretched. It wasn't much, but it was something. Day after day, Ethan stuck to his 5-minute routine. Some mornings it felt pointless. Other times, he felt a tiny sense of accomplishment. After a week, he added another habit, writing down 3 things he was grateful for each night. It felt awkward at first, but soon, it became a comforting ritual. Weeks passed. Ethan's tiny habits grew. His 5-minute stretches turned into 10, then 20. His gratitude journal filled with entries. He noticed a shift, not just in his body, but in his mindset. One evening, he returned to the park and found the old man carving another piece of wood. Back at it, Ethan asked, sitting down. The man smiled. Always. How's the resolution? Still going, Ethan said. I started small, like you said. It's not much, but it feels good. That's the magic, the man said. Consistency compounds. Like rolling a snowball down a hill. At first, it's small and slow. But keep pushing, and it grows. Ethan thought about that. The idea of momentum made sense. Months rolled by. Ethan hit roadblocks, days when he felt too tired or unmotivated. But he remembered the snowball. Even if progress felt slow, it was progress. He also discovered the power of accountability. He told his best friend Mia about his journey. They started checking in with each other, sharing their wins and struggles. One day, Ethan injured his ankle. The setback frustrated him, but instead of quitting, he shifted his focus. He began meditating and practicing mindfulness. Through it all, he learned that consistency wasn't just about achieving goals. It was about proving to himself that he could stick to something. Every small win built confidence. By the end of the year, Ethan's life looked different. Not because of one big change, but because of countless small ones. He felt stronger, calmer, more in control. He returned to the park one last time before the year ended. The old man was there, carving yet another piece. "I did it," Ethan said. "I stuck with it." The man nodded, a proud smile on his face. "Told you. It's not about being the best. It's about showing up." Ethan smiled, feeling the truth of those words deep in his bones. And as the sun set over the park, he realized something profound. Success isn't a destination. It's a journey. And the power to achieve it lies in the simple act of showing up one day at a time.